Thank you, Bob, and hello, everyone. Well, today I have a real pleasure and a real treat for you all. You probably know something about this very wonderful guest I have here today. You doubtless saw him last week. Those of you who were looking at your television saw him on Groucho Marx's program. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Commander Edward Whitehead. And he's today a leading figure in Britain's vitally important export drive by virtue of his position as president of Schweppes USA Limited and as director and general manager of Schweppes Overseas Limited. The tall, full-bearded Englishman maintains offices in New York City and London and divides his time between these two countries when he isn't touring other Schweppes operations throughout the world. And he has such an interesting career, and he's such a wonderful man. And it is a great pleasure and a privilege, as I said before, Commander Edward Whitehead, to have you as our guest today.
Thank you, Hazel. After that build-up, I feel that we oughtn't to say any more, and people will get a better impression.
Oh, you're too modest. You're really too wonderful. Well, first, I do want to ask about this full beard and why you happen to maintain it, because you are a very young-looking man, and I just wondered about the beard. It's very handsome and distinguished, of
Thank
course.
you very much.
But I'd like to know just why you do happen to wear it.
I have to go back into history a little to explain this adequately, if I may.
Please do.
In other words, tell you about its origins. First of all, it's been there 16 years. I started it in 1939, a very good year for beards, by the way. And
like
it came
that.
about this way, that I was a naval reservist at the time, and I knew that once war came, that I was destined to spend many years in the service at sea. And the day that I heard the broadcast, the effect that we were at war with Germany, I felt the need for a gesture, and I didn't quite know what to do, so I threw my razor over the side and said, I won't shave again till victory comes. And
Isn't that interesting?
I then discovered, although this was not premeditated, that the beard had a highly functional purpose. For instance, in cold climates, especially at sea,
Yes.
It keeps the cold at bay and saves you getting yourself in an awful mess trying to shave in icy seas. And in hot climates, particularly in the South Pacific, where I served later, it served the dual purpose of keeping away things like prickly heat and also mosquitoes. It's a thing that nobody had ever thought of before I made this point. But
Well,
you know,
I
if you're,
should think
as
not.
you sit
Isn't
there,
that a
you
marvelous
can
discovery?
see down to your cheekbones,
Yes.
but you can't see what goes on below. And so, if you're being attacked by mosquitoes on some tropic isle, you're able to defend yourself more adequately with a great fuzz around the lower part of your face.
Well, I can see the advantage of it, but I'm sure no one, as you say, surely no one had ever discovered it before. And I think it's a wonderful discovery, and I'm glad you did. And of course, it adds much to your appearance. It makes you very unusual looking and very distinguished looking.
Eccentric is the right word.
Oh, no, indeed. I notice quite a few of our American men, if I may say so, are sort of, what should I say, affecting the same sort of thing. They don't seem to keep it very long, but they have grown some beards, some of our actors and some of our other, what should I say, public service people. Well, now, would you tell us a little bit, Commander, about this, about your business, Schweppes, and I understand you're over here on a rather goodwill trip on behalf of your company.
I'd be delighted to, Hazel. First of all, just to conclude this matter of the beard, I
Oh,
ought to have
yes,
explained-
excuse me, I got ahead of my story. I do want to hear the rest of that.
I should have explained that the eccentricity or idiosyncrasy on my part is in having retained it since. I shouldn't have done, but you as a woman will understand that no man would retain a beard and be quite so odd as I obviously am, unless his wife and family liked it. My wife and family like it, and so frankly I don't care much what else people think.
How sweet of you to say that. Isn't that wonderful?
And since then, since they liked it, it stuck with me, and I'm in England it's not quite so odd because there are more eccentrics there, but people in this country are more conventional, and therefore it is a little odder. But let's face it, it's come into its own since I came to this country and has made me a reasonably notorious character. not entirely the beard, but largely the beard. But to go back to your later question as to what I'm doing here and what my company is, first of all, Schweppes is a very old company. It was founded in about 1794. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, we were the first of all companies Jacob Schweppes was the first man to make carbonated waters back in the end of the 18th century. We've been terribly stuffy and old-fashioned all these years, but suddenly, since the war, we decided to spread our wings and let the rest of the world have the benefit of this product of ours.
Mighty good idea, it seems to me.
So instead of shipping it all over the world, as we've done so far for about 100 years, so that it's awfully expensive when it gets there, because it's rather expensive when it starts, we started a franchise operation by which it is bottled in each locality here in Atlantic City by the Pepsi-Cola bottler who distributes it for us under we supervise the making of it and import the essence and so on.
Oh, I see.
And he distributes it, and we help promote it by drawing attention to it and talking about it and advertising it in the way that you've probably seen in the New Yorker and other magazines.
Yes, I have, and I had no idea. May I ask, Commander, is it a more or less a medicinal, or is it with
not.
bitters?
Strictly for pleasure.
Well, I'd like to. Yes, it's a mixer, isn't
that's
it?
It's,
for
it's
mixed drinks.
Probably
and
the
so
most
on.
famous mixer in the world. The tonic, as we call it everywhere else, but quinine water here is usually mixed with
yes.
spirits, and or it's drunk alone, as
Yes.
people prefer. It's essentially an adult dry drink and not one of the sweeter drinks
I
that
see.
children like. It's an acquired taste, like olives or tomatoes. You don't like it straight away, but you get to like it
Yes.
a lot later on.
Well, I'm sure everybody will like it because I think men like to have a dry drink, as far as I know.
And women too.
Yes, they do. Many of them like a sweeter drink, of course, but I think they're going to like this one especially. And if they've had a chance to see you and know anything about you, they're going to have this wonderful Schweppes regardless, They just have to. They just have to.
You're too kind.
Oh, our time is going so fast. It just didn't give me a chance to ask you all the questions I wanted to. I'd like to know what your impression is of American women, for instance. That is, as you've seen them from time to time.
Well, Hazel, women are women everywhere. I think that I think that you in this country have the most attractive crop that is currently growing
thank
anywhere
you.
in the world.
Of course, that's nice. That's the right thing to say.
No, I'm not being
But nevertheless,
flattering.
he's a wonderful fencer, isn't
No,
he?
I'm not fencing on this occasion. I went twice around the world last year to different countries each time and in different directions on each occasion. And I know of no country that I like to be as much as this. And as for women, I'm a married man, but that doesn't dim my powers of perception.
I'm sure
repeat,
not.
they're
It
the
wouldn't
most
be a good
attractive
thing.
in the world.
Well, that's awfully nice of you to say it. And I just wondered about, getting back, I had to find out about women, about your opinion. But is there a different approach in the British Advertising Company, a different one than from our American methods?
Yes, there are substantial differences, particularly in my own company. We, as I say, are very well known at home in Britain and have been for so long that everybody knows what Schweppes is. So
Yes, of course.
We need to drum the product. We don't need to force it down people's throats, literally, either verbally or in print. So the advertising in Britain is almost unique, even in Britain, in that it doesn't mention the name of the product or the name of the company. It is just a play on words. We have a lot of fun with this SCH prefix of our word.
Yes.
For instance, there's a Schweppes Castle with a little arrow to a top window saying Queen Elizabeth Schwepped here. And there's a film
How
on at the
cute, how
Schwempire
clever.
Cinema with 39 Schweppes is the name of the film, you see.
Yes.
And this is done all the time. It's one extenuating joke that we continue about this mythical county in Britain called Schweppeshire. And currently we're doing a series called Schweppesylvania, which is about another state in America where
Yes, isn't
we
that
poke
interesting?
gentle fun, kind-hearted fun at manners and mores of this country, as we have done of our own.
Well, that's awfully interesting. Are you going to use that type of advertising in this country, that it may be incorporated with your with the company, for instance, Coca-Cola Bottling, who has exclusive
Pepsi-Cola,
right
yeah.
to it?
Pepsi-Cola, yes.
Or Pepsi-Cola, rather. Sorry.
No, we don't anticipate using that kind of advertising here yet, because let's face it, we are not as well known here as we are at home. We can do that sort of thing at home because everybody knows who we are. It'll take a little time.
Of course, that's right.
That's why I consented reluctantly to appear in the advertising as the man who's come here to see that every drop of this stuff is the same as it is in England. But we've got to
Quality
get past
control,
that
as it
stage.
were.
That's right.
That's right. Well, thank you so much, Commander. It's been so very interesting to have you, and as I said many times, it is a privilege and a great thrill for us, and you've given us some very interesting information. I hope you'll have time again when you come to America to give us a nice long interview. Will you do that?
Thank you, Hazel. Nothing would give me greater pleasure.
Well,
And thank
it's
you for being
very
so very
wonderful.
courteous and kind.
And thank you again. I understand you're going to speak to the Rotary Club this afternoon
Well, I'm
or
going,
at
I'm going
noontime.
to their luncheon now, and then I have to address a convention here in Atlantic City, too, of liquor package store dealers.
Oh, yes,
And,
they're in
and
convention, I
that's
believe.
it.
Well, all right, we'll reluctantly let you go.
And thank you very much
Thank
indeed
you,
for
and
giving
goodbye,
me such
sir.
a pleasant interview.
Thank you.